Strangers again after breakup. Why? So that is the first question for this evening, and you guys just really like to ask me all these very difficult relationship questions. But before I get into the question, a little bit about myself. Hi, I'm Douglas Kampong Kid. Hi, Vanessa. Nice to see all of you here this evening. Thank you for being here. Hi, Nga. I apologize if I pronounce your names incorrectly. I am learning. Okay, hi V. Thanks for being here. Hi Linda. Nice to see you again. Thanks for all your comments. Honey, you've got a very interesting question for me tonight. Okay, and I'll take a look at that question later as well. Hi Mai. Good evening. Okay, this is Hi Ngok Kiao. I hope I pronounced that right. Ngok Kiao. Nice to see you guys. Du Yen. Good evening. Hong An. Hello. Don't call me Mr. Douglas. Just call me Douglas. Mr. makes me sound very old. So it's really nice. It's really nice to see all of you, and I really would like to thank all of you for being here this evening, for your time. And so I was saying, I'm Douglas Kampong Kid. For those of you who have not met me before, I live in Singapore, but I was originally Malaysian, but I've been in Singapore since 1987. So that is the last 35, yeah, about 35 years. So I've been in Singapore for 35 years. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm really doing this because of a challenge from someone that I got to know a couple of years ago. Okay, whom some of you may also know. Her name is Anne, and that's a little bit about myself. So back to that question: strangers again after breakup. Why? Then I'll ask back, why not? Do you want to be friends? But jokes aside, I see breakup. I see this question a lot. Okay, about breaking up and what happens after breaking up. And here's what I believe. I believe that we are going to meet a lot of people on our journey in life. And each person that we meet is there to give us an experience or a lesson. There's something that we need to learn, okay, in that interaction with the people that we meet in our lives. Some of them are going to be our friends, some of them are going to be people we work with, some of them are going to be our lovers. So you get together with someone, okay, it doesn't matter what the relationship is. There is a time to be together, and perhaps at some point in time there is a time when that journey together is over. Okay, and we take away a memory, and we take away a lesson, we take away an experience from interacting with that person. But very often, in more intimate relationships, we get to know people so much. We get so invested in that relationship, and especially in our very early relationships, because the thing is this. Okay, how many of you received a manual, a book, okay, that tells you everything about being in a relationship? How many of you have that book? Okay, I don't have that book. Okay, so if you have that book, please share that book with me, because I don't have that book. So a lot of us don't have that book. So we go into relationships, especially with people that we get more intimate with. We get very invested. Okay, we place our trust. We get involved emotionally for whatever reason, whatever it is that we like about that person or that person likes about us. Okay, we might spend some time together. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it lasts for a very long time, sometimes it ends very quickly. But when it ends, there is always a reason why it ended. Sometimes it ends well. Okay, sometimes it doesn't. So for me, I feel however it ends in the relationship or how the relationship evolves really depends on how the two people get together. And it could also be it could also be a friendship. Okay, you can be best friends with someone, you can also break up with your best friend. You can be business partners with someone, get really, really close, and you can also break up with that business partner. Okay, so I don't want to just limit that to a romantic relationship, though more often than not, breakups from romantic relationships are a lot more painful. So then the question is, why the breakup? Okay, why if two or more people come together and things are working, then there's no reason for a breakup. So the breakup very frequently is because whatever the reason was that two or more people came together, that reason is no longer there. And there could be and there could be a lot of things behind that. Okay, it could be as we grow, as we learn, as we experience life, we are not the same. I am not the same person I was 5 years ago, and I'm certainly not the same person I was 30 years ago. So we change as people. And when you have two people in a relationship, okay, friendship, business, or anything, then it depends on how the two people grow together. Okay, and in money and you terms, okay, so I talk about money and you a lot. Okay, so in money and you terms, it's what we call brightness of the future. Okay, is there a common goal, a common dream, a common whatever it is that two people can work towards, that they agree on? And then it's about figuring out how to get from where they are to where they want to go, as long as they still share that common goal. But sometimes the dreams change for the people. Okay, they change, and they may come to a point where they no longer share that common goal. Okay, and decide that, okay, then it's time for the journey together to end. Sometimes it's a little bit more dramatic because people do things. Okay, people do things. There is betrayal. There is betrayal is one of the biggest things. Okay, betrayal is one of the biggest reasons people split up. Okay, they could have different dreams, so it could not be betrayal as well. But the thing is, whatever the reason is, if the journey has ended, then what more do you want after that? Okay, so for me, in my experience, you don't always become strangers, but it happens often because now your life path is no longer on the same road, and then you need to go on your own way. You need to do the things that you need to do in your life. But what is more painful for me sometimes is when two or more people, okay, it doesn't have to be again a romantic relationship. It could be business partnership. It could be friendship. It could whatever it is. Two people, okay, two people together, who don't see the same thing anymore, who don't have the same goals anymore, who don't have the things in common that they want to do anymore. But because they have been together, they stay together, and then they end up being unhappy. And then to me, I ask, what's the point? What's the point of two people staying together for whatever reason, because they started together, they stay together, when they no longer want to be together with each other? Okay, sometimes it is necessary to pursue your own happiness, and it's not about the other person. So for me, being in a relationship, there cannot be, number one, there cannot be a dependency. Okay, being in a relationship to me is about two people who are perfectly capable of operating, living on their own, who made a choice to come together. And then number two, when they decide to come together, they need to establish a set of rules, agreements. And I'm not talking about marriage. Okay, I'm not talking about contracts. I'm talking about agreements. We are together, and here's how we are going to create this relationship, whatever that relationship looks like. So we need to set up a set of rules, and then both parties need to agree and abide by the rules. So at any point in time, if one or the other break the rules, then it's no longer working, and then you part ways. And after you part ways, what do you want to do? Stay friends for what? So sometimes for another door to open, we need some doors to shut. Okay, sometimes we need to move on from that stage of our life to the next stage of our life. Sometimes people stay with us just for that part because there is something that we need to get from that experience in our life. And that's what it is. And when that breakup occurs, it may be painful, it might hurt like hell, and that's part of the experience. That's part of life, of experiencing the pain as much as the joy. Life is not just the things that we like. Life is also the things that we don't like, that makes up the entire experience of life. If we just want the things that we like, then we are just living half of our lives, because there is the other half that we don't like. So to me, life is the entire experience. And sometimes it's painful. Sometimes you need to take a break. Sometimes that break will last forever. And then you become strangers because you no longer share the same journey. And it's okay. So it's okay to be strangers. But if both of you figure out that, hey, maybe we are going to the next stage of our life, and yet as we go on to our next stage in our lives, our relationship changes, no longer in the same way that we used to know. It could be lovers, business partners, friends, it doesn't matter. Okay, and we decide that, hey, we can still be in communication with each other, we can still encourage each other, we can still, whatever that agreement is. Okay, there has to be an agreement by both parties about what's going to happen next. Without that agreement, without that arrangement, then nothing happens. So I believe there's always choice. There's always choice of what we want to create. And it's definitely a lot easier for me to say, looking back. I've broken up twice. Okay, with in my first two relationships, and they were painful. I was very young. I was in my late 20s when I went through my first two relationships. Very painful. But I didn't have the tools that I have right now. I didn't have the awareness. I didn't know what I know now, and it was very painful. Are we still friends? We still talk to each other. We still communicate with each other. But are we still friends? Not really. That part of my life is over. Okay, and I'm living this part of my life right now. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, again, I say not a relationship coach. I can only share with you guys from what I have been through and what I've experienced. Okay, how to talk and make the conversation more attractive. Be curious. Be curious about the people you're having conversations with. I think very, very often when we get into conversations, we talk about ourselves a lot. And nobody wants to hear you talk about yourself. I'm sorry. Because why? Because everybody is just interested in themselves. Okay, they may not say it, but everybody is just interested in themselves, in the worlds, in their own reality boxes that they live in. So the way to make things, to have an interesting conversation for me, is asking questions from being curious about the other person. Find out, ask questions, ask interesting questions, find out about the other person. And as the other person shares, ask more questions. And at some point in time, as the person shares, you might find areas or parts of the conversation that you resonate with and can contribute to, and the dynamics, then that really depends on the dynamics of the conversation. Okay, of course, also you want the other person, as much as you want to be interested in the other person, you also want the other person to be interested in you, right? So at some point in time, okay, for two or more people to be in engagement with each other, there has to be a conversation which goes both ways. So if you start engaging by being interested in the other person, and if the other person just talks about himself or herself, at some point you might not be interested anymore. Then it's time to end the conversation. Oh, it's nice. It was nice meeting you. It was nice having that conversation with you. I see someone that I know, and I'm going to say hi, end it, and move on. But if at some point in time you can engage with the other person who starts to become also interested in you, then things will flow. That's my experience. Hope that makes sense. Why should we trust our intuition? Why not? If you don't trust your intuition, then what do you trust? Well, after saying that as well, what really is intuition? Intuition has got, okay. So we have heart, we have heart, we have heart and mind. Okay, we have heart and mind. We have left brain and right brain. Okay, left brain very logical. Okay, right brain, yeah, right brain, very illogical. Left brain, very analytical. Right brain tends to be more creative, more emotional. Where does intuition come from? Okay, intuition comes from how we sense things. Okay, how we sense things, how we feel things. And one of the biggest principles or lessons that I learned from Money and You was this: the concept of essence. Okay, okay, humans are energy creatures. Okay, so we give off essence all the time. Let me say more about what essence is. If you have ever been into a room, you walk into a room, nobody is talking. Okay, everybody is quiet, but you have a feeling that somebody is angry, or you have a feeling that somebody is sad, but nobody's saying anything, nobody is doing anything, they're just in the room. So that sensation that you feel, that we feel, that somebody is angry or somebody is sad, that is the essence that someone is giving out. It is an energy signal that someone is giving out. and then we receive that, then we feel, wow, someone is angry, or someone is sad, someone is happy. So we give off essence, people give off essence all the time, and other people receive essence. Okay, it happens all the time. But a lot of people are not aware of this transmission of energy, transmission of essence that is going on. So it needs to be trained. Okay, number one, you need to be aware of it. And then number two, you've got to train it to start to recognize, to start to know that you are transmitting essence, that we are transmitting essence, and also to know that we're receiving essence. And it's all around. Okay, so we sense this invisible energy that's going on. Okay, I'm sure you guys would have sensed things like that before. So besides the information that we get about things, okay, which is processed by the left brain, there are all these invisible signals that we receive that is processed by the right brain. But when we go to school, we don't learn this. When we go to school, which part of the brain do we train? Our left brain. So our left brain gets a lot of training. Our right brain doesn't get training. So our left brain learns to do all the work, but our right brain, even though it knows how to do this, is not trained to do this. We only get good in doing something because we train. We learn how to use that tool that we have. So if you utilize both your left brain and your right brain, if things are in alignment, okay, if the information that your left brain is processing and what you're feeling about that situation is in alignment with your left brain, okay, then there is integrity. Things are in alignment. But if you have information, okay, if somebody is saying nice things, okay, to you, or giving you good information and all that, but then you have a feeling that, hey, no, there's something that you feel that is not right. So that sense that you're getting from essence and the information that you're receiving are not in alignment, it's crossed. Okay, then what do you do? What do you do? Do you still go ahead based on the information, or do you also consider the other aspects of it? Okay, so your intuition is what puts all this together and tells you, hey, something is right or something is not, something is working or something is not working, something is not right, something is wrong. That's what intuition is. Okay, but it's got to be trained. Number one, you got to first recognize it. Number two, you've got to train it. How do you train it? Okay, start to listen to your feelings more. Start to notice what is going on. So there are three things that we notice, or there are three things that's going on for us all of the time. The first thing are our thoughts. Okay, we are thinking something all of the time. The second thing are our feelings. We are feeling something most of the time, sad, happy, indifferent. Okay, we are on an emotional scale. And then the third thing, we are sensing something all of the time. Okay, and that's what I was talking about, essence and all that. Okay, so thoughts, feelings, and sensations. We're experiencing this all the time. Most people don't realize that they're experiencing this. So start to notice what the thought is when you encounter a situation. Start to notice what your thoughts, what's going on. What are you thinking? Oh, I'm thinking this. Start to notice what your feeling is. Oh, I'm feeling happy, I'm feeling sad. You start to notice what your sensation is. What's an example of a sensation? Sometimes when we are nervous, okay, our palms get a little bit sweaty. Okay, we start to shake a little bit. Sometimes when we need to do a presentation, do public speaking, okay, our stomach feels a bit, okay, that is a sensation. So all these are our bodily senses. Okay, so start to notice all these things that are going on. It is our body giving us feedback about something that is going on. Okay, and start to recognize that feedback and start to listen to that feedback. Will you get it right when you first start practicing trusting your intuition? No, we can't trust our intuition when we first start. Okay, but we can first start to notice, and then we can start to see, okay, what our intuition is telling us, and then we assess. And that's how we train. We make corrections. The first times, because we are so programmed by a lot of things, we don't get it. We may not get it right. We might feel something is not right, but we might not be able to figure what it is. Okay, but start to notice what's going on, and then start to map what you're noticing with what's actually going on. So with everything that's going on, there are three sides. There are three sides to it. There is your story, there is my story, okay, your perspective, my perspective, and there is the truth. Okay, the facts about what's going on. So if I listen to your story and what your perspective is, you listen to my perspective, what my story is, it's not the truth. It's just what we are telling each other. Okay, but if we start to assess all this, okay, and start to break it apart, okay, that's your story, this is my story, and this is the truth. That's what our intuition helps us to discover the truth. And then we act and make decisions on the truth. So that's why I would trust my intuition. But trusting my intuition comes with practicing and learning and developing how I sense and make sense of my intuition. Okay, so it takes practice. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, just ask another question. Suggestions for people who have to begin a new life, find a new job. Very exciting, right? Very exciting. I don't, because it's such a dynamic situation. What will I do? Make friends. Understand what's going on in the environment. Okay, let me see. Okay, in any new event. In any new event. I'm going to frame this. Life is a series of events. Okay, so we are on a journey in life. Okay, we are on a journey in life, and this journey in life is simply a series of events that occur. Right? So they're just, as we go through life, we are just going through a series of events. And in each event, there's something that we will do, there's something that we want, there's something that we will take away, and then we move on to the next event. So if I look at begin a new life, okay, it is the end of one event, okay, which is whatever that life was, and then entering the next event, which is the new life. And it could be anything. Okay, new job in unfamiliar environment, new relationship with unfamiliar, okay, can't be unfamiliar person. Actually, yeah, when you first meet someone, he or she is unfamiliar. So it could be new anything. So there are four elements. There are four elements that you need to look at. The first element is this: what's going on? What do you want? What do you want to get out of this event? Okay, so new life, new job, unfamiliar environment. What is your goal, that outcome that you want to create in this new chapter of your life? Why are you there? Okay, is it because it's a different opportunity? Is it a better opportunity? Is it a change of environment? I don't know. Whatever the reason is, there's something that you want to get. That's why you left your previous life and entered this new life. So what is it? What is it that you're going into this event to get? And in order to get the thing that you want to get from this event, maybe you want to progress in your career. Maybe you want to start a new business. Maybe you want to, I don't know, whatever the reason is, join someone whom you want to spend the rest of your life with in a new environment. But whatever it is, there is at the end of that, there is an outcome that you want to create. Okay, and if you're finding a new job, maybe because you want to get an experience, okay, of that job or that opportunity, and at the end of that, you want to take something away. You might make more money, create something, I don't know, something, whatever that is. In order to get that goal from that event, that chapter in your life that you're going into, you need to know what you want. Because if you don't know what you want, then why are you going into that chapter of your life? You will end up just going around in circles. So the first question is, what is it that you want to get out of this event? And in order to get that outcome, that result from this event, there are problems that you need to solve. Okay, what are the problems that you need to solve? Is it learning about the job? Is it learning about people? Is it, I don't know, getting new skills, knowledge? So there are problems that you need to solve in order to get to the goal. That's number one. What are the what's the goal, and what are the problems you need to solve? Number one. Number two, when you get into this event, this new environment, I'll use the word game, this new game that you're going to play, there are going to be other people playing the game. Okay, within the workspace, within your social environment, within that country that you're living. Okay, there are going to be new people. Okay, what do you need to understand that will allow you to interact with these people in an optimal way, in a way that works for you? Okay, so number one is what problem you need to solve to get to your goal. Number two is who are the people who are also in that same environment with you. Learn about them. The third thing is, what is this environment like? Is it a safe environment? Is it a dangerous environment? Is it a fast environment? Is it a slow environment? Okay, is it a rapidly changing environment, or is it a constant environment? Okay, understand this environment, because you need to operate in this environment. And in different environments, you will operate differently. Okay, so that's number three, understand your environment. Number four, understand the rules of this new environment that you're going into. You come to Singapore, there's a set of rules. If I go to Vietnam, there's a set of rules. You go to the US, there's a different set of rules. What are the rules that I need to operate with in order to have things, in order to create the outcomes that I want to create from this event? So to start, these are the four things. Okay, these are the four things that I feel you need to be clear about to play this new game of a new job in a new environment. Ask questions about any of these four. Okay, that is the starting point. What do I need to know? What are the problems? What do I want? Who are the people? What's the environment like? What are the rules? And then you will find the answers. That's my suggestion. How do you recharge energy? Go to sleep. How do you recharge energy after hard working? Go to sleep. Do something you enjoy. Actually, I want to say this. Okay, I don't know. So there's a question that people ask about hard work all the time, and I will ask the question: what is hard work? What really is hard work? What is considered hard work? Because I don't really. Okay, at this point in my life, I don't have a concept or context of hard work. Because hard work, when we use the word hard or difficult, okay, it implies a certain thing. And language gives us life. Okay, the words that we use, the language that we use creates the reality that we live in, that the reality box that we live in. So when I say something is hard, then what is that? Something is hard. When we say something is difficult, then what is that something? That something is difficult. So I don't have a concept of hard work because I don't consider things that I do hard work. Okay, I consider the things that I do meaningful work, fulfilling work, purposeful work, and I actually don't even use the word work as well. Okay, they're just things that I do. Okay, that are meaningful, that are purposeful, that are fulfilling. And if something that you do is meaningful, purposeful, and fulfilling, then there is no concept of it being difficult or hard. Yes, there will be challenges, but I've talked about challenges as well. Okay, challenges are designed to help us to grow. So I don't see challenges in a way that's negative as well. When a challenge comes, the question I ask is what am I supposed to learn from this challenge? And if really the work that you're doing is hard, okay, then go and do something else. Go and do something else. If you cannot describe the work, the things that you do as meaningful, fulfilling, or purposeful, then go and look for something else to do. But I believe that for most of us, we create meaning, purpose, and fulfillment in the things that we do. Okay, we choose, we can actually choose to make something meaningful, purposeful, and fulfilling. So that's not hard work. And if that's not hard work, for me, meaningful, fulfilling, and purposeful work actually energizes me. Okay, so I don't actually feel tired. I don't actually feel a need to recharge energy from that perspective because in doing the things that I do, I energize myself. But physically, I might get tired and go to sleep. That's what sleep is designed for us to do, to get rest. So after expanding your energy, just go have just go have a good rest and wake up energized, more energized again the next day. I hope that I hope that answers the question. Somebody told you this story. Feed the white wolf and hug the black wolf. Must be Anne, right? So this is a story that I also heard from someone else. Okay, and I talked so earlier I talked about thoughts. Okay, we're thinking something all of the time. Okay, we're feeling and I talk thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations. So something is going on for us all of the time. Okay, and it is designed to keep us safe. Okay, fear is designed to keep us safe, so is hope. So the analogy or the story of the white wolf and the black wolf are, for those of you who are not familiar with this story, are two mythical creatures that exist within us who are fighting all the time. Okay, the white wolf is about all the beautiful things, okay, or things that we consider beautiful and fulfilling and meaningful. And then the black wolf is about all the things that scare us, our fears, our doubts, our whatever it is, okay, that hold us back, our limits that hold us back in our lives. But both of them are important. Okay, both of them are important because without the black wolf, the white wolf can go wild and go into dreamland and not be and float up on the clouds and not be realistic. But without the white wolf, the black wolf will just keep us stuck. So they're fighting all the time. They're fighting all the time and for good purpose. Okay, to keep us balanced. So which wolf do you want to win? Okay, which the black wolf or the white wolf? Okay, so in their constant battles with each other, if they are always just in equilibrium, then nothing actually happens because just balance. So which wolf do you want to win? Okay, which wolf do you want to win? Okay, or which wolf will win? Is the wolf that you feed. And I feel that very often, or most of the time, we might want to feed the white wolf, but we don't want to starve the black wolf either. Okay, but we want to feed the white wolf just enough to keep us moving forward. Okay, and the black wolf, we need to keep the black wolf to keep us safe. So that's feed the white wolf so that we can continue to move forward, and hug. Okay, I don't describe it as hug the black wolf, but if you want to hug the black wolf to make the black wolf your friend, go ahead and hug the black wolf. Maybe that works. Make the black wolf your friend and feed the white wolf so that it keeps you so that you keep moving forward. I hope that I hope that makes sense. Okay, it's what you feed yourself to keep yourself moving forward and to stay safe as well. Okay. Ah, somebody asked this question a couple of days ago. The difference between learning from books and the world outside. I think both are important. Both are important, but um, it also depends what books. But I feel that in the world today, okay, so books were created as archives of information. Okay, before books were created, how was information shared? How was information shared? Information was passed down through word of mouth, through stories. Okay, through, yeah, everywhere else. Okay, they send smoke signals. So that was before books were created. Then books or scrolls or whatever it is, a way to keep information and share information and distribute information got created. And then eventually we have books. And so books are what I consider the past wisdom of the generations of people before me. Because the books, whatever books that are in existence right now, were written before today. And that's why we have a book, right? We don't have books that are written, that are going to be written tomorrow. Okay, so we only have access to books that are already written, and that's already the past. So when we learn, in my opinion, when we learn from a book, we are learning past wisdom. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Okay, there is a lot of wisdom. But past wisdom does not always create the future. What brought us here today may not be enough to bring us to tomorrow. If we depend on just past wisdom, then our structures about the future is going to be based on the past. But is that what's happening in the world? Okay, we are not creating future based on static structures of the past. We're creating the future, and we use the word creating, and the root word is create. Okay, and that's the root word for being creative. We are inventing new things. And if we are inventing new things, okay, did they exist in the past? No, they didn't. And how do we invent new things? Okay, it starts with the mind, the concept, the context, or the idea of two creations. Okay, I call it the idea of two creations. What's the idea of two creations? Where does the first creation happen? Okay, the first creation happens first in our minds. Okay, we have ideas, we have thoughts. It first exists in our minds. Okay, all of you have ideas. Some of you have more ideas than others. All of us have different ideas, but we have ideas because that's something that we're thinking all of the time. So we have ideas. But for a lot of us, these ideas just stay in our heads. This is the first creation, the idea that gets created in our heads. But as long as it stays in our heads, what happens? Nothing. It just stays in our heads. Okay, so we have all these brilliant ideas, nothing happens because it just stays in our heads until the second creation happens, which is what we take the ideas and then we create it in this physical world. But the second creation cannot happen until the first creation happens. You cannot create something without it happening in your head first. So the clearer it is, this idea that you have in your head, then the clearer it becomes when you create it in reality. And people are creating all the time. And that's what and that's where we say people who are creators, they are creating the future. They're introducing new things into the world. And it's because of these new things that humanity progresses. If we don't have these new things, we are stuck with all the old things. Does that make sense? Okay, so to me, learning from the world is learning from a dynamic environment that's changing all the time, that's constantly challenging us, that's constantly giving us information, that's constantly moving. And that's important. And then learning from books is learning past wisdom. And then we take the two, and then we create synergy. Okay, we don't want to disregard past wisdom because there are mistakes that have been made in the past and there are lessons that we've learned from the past and we don't want to make the same mistakes again. Okay, that's what's important about past wisdom. Okay, but we also want to have a stage to create a new world. So to me, that's the difference. That's the balance between the two. Does that make sense? Most important things for the day. Number one, being clear about what it is that I want to exchange my day for. Number two is how I'm going to get that done. And number three is I need to take care of myself. And not just be caught up in the things that I do, because sometimes I get so engrossed in doing that. Okay, so I talk about the first one. What am I going to exchange the day for? So I look at this thing called time. Okay, I look at this thing that's called time, this object that's called time, as a currency. Okay, and every day I have 24 hours times 60 minutes times 60 seconds. Okay, that's the gift of time that I have every day. That's the gift of time that all of us have every day. We can't store it. Okay, we can't store it. We can't earn it. Okay, we cannot work hard, then we have more time. And when we lose it, we can't get it back. This is the currency that's called time. And so you imagine, okay, every day you get 24 units of this currency. Okay, and you need to decide, okay, you get this 24 units and it's hours, or you want to measure it in minutes, is up to you. You get a certain number of units of this currency and you get to choose what you're going to do with it. Okay, at the end of the 20, when you've utilized the 24 units, when I've utilized the 24 units, and I actually from the 24 units, about 4 to 6 units goes to sleep. Okay, goes to me. I need to utilize 4 to 6 units for sleep, which means that if I've got 24, I've got 18 units left. And of this 18 units, okay, some of them goes to the normal daily things I need to do. Okay, so I'm left with about 15 units. Okay, at the end of the day, these 15 units are going to be used up. And if it's going to be used up, then what do I want to have used this for? What do I want to have created? What do I want to have exchanged these units for? That's very important to me. Okay, it didn't used to be so important to me, but I'm 50 years, I'm 50, 52. I'm going to be 52 soon. Okay, if I live to 100, then more than half of my life is gone. Okay, very fast. Okay, I remember when I was 20 something, and I look at my life and say, wow, so many years. Okay, I'm 50, and I ask myself, wow, what happened to the time? 52. So it's important to me what I do with these units, because I can't get it back. And if I've got 50 years left, okay, imagine you have a savings account. Okay, every day you draw out some, you can't top it up. Okay, it will run out. And this 50 years, what will I do? Because if I don't do what I want to do in the next 50 years, at the end of the 50 years, I'm going to look back and I'm going to, oh no, I've run out. No more. I can't play the game again. I can't live my life again. So it's very important. So the first thing, the first thing for me, very, very important, is what am I going to do with this day? What am I going to exchange this day for? And then the next two is about making sure, okay, that I make the best of it. So second most important thing is, how do I make the best of it? And the third thing is that I need to take care of myself, because and that's also important. Okay, take care of myself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, relationship, everything, environment, otherwise. Okay, I need to take care of myself, because if I live for the next 50 years, then I have one tool that will help me, that will enable me to get through the next 50 years, and that is me. So if I don't take care of me and what I need, I might not last the next 50 years. Okay, I don't want to grow old. Okay, so here's the thing. I see a lot of people. I see my parents. I see my parents' generation getting old very fast. Okay, people who are in their 60s or 70s, or yeah, I'm 52. Okay, people who are 60s and 70s, who look very old, who behave very old, who don't have a lot of energy, who seem like they're getting ready to die. Okay, and I don't want to grow old that way. I want to maximize. I want to go all the way to the end and have a lot of fun and be very, very energized and do everything that I want to do. Okay, so for me to do that, I need to take care of myself. So that's the third most important thing. So the first is, what am I going to exchange the day for? Very clear. Number two is, how am I going to do that in the best way possible? Okay, there will be wastage. Okay, there will be inefficiencies. Is okay. Okay, but I've got to be very, very deliberate in how I do that. And then the third thing, I've got to create sustainability. Makes sense. So these are the three things. My three important things. Why must I understand myself before I do anything? Why not? So we talk about creator and creation. Okay, we talk about creator and creation. Okay, whatever it is that we want to create comes from one source and one source only. Okay, it is us. So there's another framework. Okay, there's another framework that I learned from Money and You, and this framework is this. The first thing is this: we are creating results in our life all the time. Right? We're creating results, we're creating outcomes, we are creating whatever it is, we're creating something all of the time. We're creating an outcome. But what is it that creates this outcome? There's certain action that we take. Okay, there are certain behaviors that we have that creates a result. Okay, so if I run, okay, exercise, then what's the outcome? I get physically fitter. If I eat well, then I get nourished better. If I cook, I create food. Okay, so if I take some action on certain behaviors that I have, it creates a result. But what drives the action or behavior? I have certain mindset or attitude. Okay, and that mindset or attitude says, okay, I want to get fit. Okay, I want to create sustainability. So that's my attitude and my mindset. I want to live up to 100 and I want to be very, very healthy. So that's my mindset and my attitude. Okay, because I have that mindset and attitude, then I will take the action. I will take the action and then I will create the result. So attitude or mindset that creates the action or behavior that then creates the result. Most of you may have heard of this saying: if you want to change your result, then you need to change your attitude. You need to change your mindset. Have a more positive attitude, more positive mindset, and then you will have more positive results. But let me also ask you guys this. Okay, today too late. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, the first thing that you do when you open your eyes, you put on your positive attitude or your positive mindset hat. Everybody has one, right? If you don't have one, go and find one. Put on your positive attitude or positive mindset hat, so that for the rest of the day you'll be positive. Nothing will make you change. You just positive. Is that possible? It is not possible. It is not possible to have that positive mindset and positive attitude all of the time, because there is something, and then there's something else. The fourth thing that drives your attitude and your mindset, and that last thing that drives your attitude and your mindset is what you believe. If you believe that you can, you are right. If you believe that you cannot, you are also right. There is nothing that you can create if you don't first believe in it, because it is not real. If you don't believe in something, it is not real. Can you create that? You can't, because it is not real. But the thing is, okay, so I'm not talking about your spiritual beliefs and all that. Okay, I'm just talking about what you hold to be true and possible. For me, the thing is this: I don't have judgment about right belief or wrong belief. There's no good or bad belief. There's no right or wrong belief. Whatever our beliefs are simply our beliefs that come from somewhere, from the environment, from our whatever it is. Okay, we have a source that creates this set of beliefs that we hold. No good, no bad, no right, no wrong. But whatever this belief is creating a mindset or an attitude. This mindset or attitude is creating a set of action or behaviors. And this action or behaviors is creating an outcome, a result. Then my only question is, look at the result. Okay, are the results that you're creating in your life the results that you want? If not, then what is going on with your beliefs? Okay, nobody forced us to believe whatever it is that we believe. It is a choice that we make. But most people don't even see what their beliefs are. If I believe that the world is unfair, then my attitude and mindset is going to be more negative than positive. And then the action that I'm going to take, okay, maybe certain action that may not be very positive as well, and then that creates an outcome or a result. But if I believe that the world is beautiful, then my action then my attitude and mindset will also be reflect what I believe, which will then create the action and behavior, which then creates a different result. Okay, so if you want to create a result, start looking at what your beliefs are first. Whether or not you believe it's possible, whether or not you believe it is real, whether or not you believe that you can or cannot. So what is that belief? If you want to change your result, change your belief. No right or wrong, no good or bad. What's the result you want to create? What's the belief you need to have? So the first level of understanding is starting to see and understand what are the beliefs that we have, what are the beliefs that I have that's generating everything else. Because at the end point is a result. So start taking a look first. And that's where, for me, we are creators and we create from what we believe or don't believe. So, what do you believe? Take a look. What steps do you take to find out who you are? That is a very, very big question. Actually, that's a great question. Um, and I think I'll go back. I'll go back to noticing. Okay, I'll go back to noticing, but I'll take it another step. Okay, and earlier I talked about noticing thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations. So when we are put into any situation, when we go into any environment, when we go in experience an event, we have thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations that come up. Okay, without being aware, without being aware that we have these thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations. And I want to say this, okay, our thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations are not us, they're separate from us. And that's why we can notice them. Okay, so we are not what we think, we're not what we feel, and we're not what we sense, but we can recognize. So when I go into a certain environment, I may have a certain thought. Okay, and if I am deliberate about noticing, okay, instead of just having the thought, I ask myself, what is it that I'm thinking? Oh, that's an interesting thought that I have. Or if there's a situation that makes me angry, I don't go into anger. Okay, I notice, hey, I'm experiencing a feeling of anger. Or when I need to do something and I'm nervous and I start having this butterfly sensation in my stomach, I don't just have the butterfly sensation and feel nervous. I also notice, hey, there's something going on with what I'm sensing. I'm sensing that there's a certain nervousness that's going on. So that's step number one, to be able to notice what's going on, because that's our body giving us a form of feedback. Now, when we get into the environment, and I also talked about this earlier, okay, so the four things, okay, when we go into any environment, there are four things that we need to handle. Okay, what's the problem that we need to solve in order to create the result? Who are the people that are involved in that event or in that environment? What is the environment like? And what are the rules of the game? Okay, how do I play the game in this environment? Okay, so these are the things to know. Okay, notice myself and know what I need to do. Then I will go into the game. Okay, I will go into the game and then I will create results. Okay, and that's where the last conversation the last thing that I talk about, okay, results, action, behavior, attitude, mindset, set of beliefs. Okay, so as I play the game, as I play this new game in this environment, I'm creating results. Then I look at the results. I look at the results and then I look at, so what's the action that I'm taking? So what's the attitude or mindset I have? So what's the belief that is creating this? So there are a lot of thoughts that are going on all the time. Okay, and that comes from taking a step back and taking a look at how I am playing this game. And then I get clues. So for me, I get clues. I say, wow, it's interesting that I play this game this way. Here's this action I'm doing. This is the action that I'm taking. This is the attitude I have, and this is the belief. Wow, this is an interesting belief that I have. I believe that the world is whatever it is. I believe that the world is okay. I have a belief about myself that I cannot do this. I have a belief about myself. I have a limiting belief about myself that this is impossible. Or I have a belief that, wow, this is possible. So all these things are clues that tell us, that become a reflection of who we are. But very often as well, we cannot see ourselves. Okay, we cannot see ourselves, and then it takes someone else to actually point out to us and say, hey, you're creating this result. Okay, what is your belief? What is your belief that is creating this in your life? Okay, what is going on for you that's creating this outcome? What's happening that's creating this relationship? So sometimes it takes someone else to look at us and then give us feedback because we cannot see ourselves. And to me that's the next thing. Okay, so the first thing is to be able to notice all this. The second thing is to be in an environment with other people who will support you to help you to win. Okay, and that's also a community that I found from Money and You. People who will challenge me and say that, hey Douglas, how about taking this on in your life? And then immediately I have a belief and say, no, I cannot. Or I might have a belief and say, so many other people, why me? Okay, and then these other people who will say, why not? Why not you? Okay, if not you, then who? If not now, then when? Okay, so it is a group of people who will give me feedback, who will give me feedback about the mistakes that I make so that I can correct, who will give me encouragement about the things that I do right. So I'm constantly getting feedback about what's working and what's not. For things that are working, I do more of it. For things that's not working, that I make corrections. Okay, so this is where you need to put yourself into an environment with people who will help you to win. And that's part of the discovery process. That was part of my discovery process of who I am, what I believe, and what helps me to move forward. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Okay, so I apologize because I have overrun your time. Okay, this I've taken up more time than you guys than we promised. Okay, but I want to thank all of you. I want to thank all of you for your challenging questions, because as I think about how to respond to your questions, I'm also learning a lot about myself. Okay, so I am very, very grateful for all the difficult questions that you guys are giving to me. Um, but I'm very, very grateful also for all of you being here as part of my journey. Okay, in this part, at this stage of my life. So thank you all for your trust and support. And if you've got value, okay, if you've got value, if the answers or my responses have made sense to you guys, please like, share, and subscribe, because that is feedback to me as well. That's feedback to me that I'm giving you guys what you need. Okay, and I look forward to seeing all of you next week, same time. And that's what we have for this evening. Thank you all for being here. Okay. Take care with Omicron going on. Stay safe and live your best life. I'll talk to you guys again next week. Kampung Kedap.
Yeah, thank you one more time.
I can't end the broadcast.